to another exciting edition of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And for anybody just new to the channel, every Saturday we try to put up a BOLO video, show you some interesting things. We pick things up in a lot different manners. You tend to buy bigger collections and come into your store. I tend to hit the flea markets and the estate sales, that kind of thing. So why don't you take it away and see what treasures you have.
All right. First up.
Oh, my God.
What happened?
1980 Topps NFL Football sealed wax packs, lot of 50. What did that go for?
So my lister put it up high because they do sell individually for like $15. So they put it up for $7.50. I got an offer of $500, and before I accepted it, I'm like, let me just make sure because I don't want to, sell it too much, too little, whatever. So they generally sell for $10 in lots. So I took the $500.
Do you know, and I don't know offhand, roughly off the top of your head, now I know 80...
This is one of the worst years for football.
Well, remember 79 with Earl Campbell's rookie?
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I mean, it had James Lofton. There was a couple. It had Walter Payton third year or whatever.
So what do those go for a pack? About the same? 15,
no, those
20?
should go for more. Yeah, I would think it's $15 to $20.
The only reason I said, oh no, is...
Because 80 Topps, all I had was Phil Simms. That was it, right?
Growing up, there was a, at the corner, and we would have been talking 81 or 82... They had boxes of 1979 Topps football that they must have gotten on some kind of a closeout. Right. They got down to 2 packs for a nickel.
Oh, jeez. Wow. I think the wrapper alone, the gum's probably worth more than that right now. If you had the original gum, it's worth more than that.
And even back then, I had a nickel.
Jeez.
So I just wonder how much money I left on the table buy, or I did buy them. I just opened them all. I should have left them all unopened. 2 packs for a nickel.
Yeah, this was from that storage deal. This was in a box, and there was a lot more different years that we put up. But yeah, I was happy to get rid of it. Quick $500.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
All right, next up, this was a shocker to me. A lady came in moving and had a lot of old toys that she had that she played with. Not only Barbies, but she had G.I. Joes and Mark's toys. So she was into boys' dolls and stuff as well.
So it's a case, 5 different dolls and some accessories.
Yeah. So I think we put it up for like $100 or something like that. We knew it was worth more than that because the one with the red here, we thought that was the really good one, the red bathing suit, but it's the redhead one that is the hot one. So I had a lot of people asking on that. It's all original and went for $637.
See, and you probably left a lot of money on the table on that one.
I'm fine with that.
Because what people will do is they will go and they will match up and they will find out that like that pink dress is the poodle dress from 1963, and then they'll sit there and they'll list that separately, and that might be a $75 item. You have no idea.
Exactly.
But it's one of those where there's no problem at all leaving money on the table because they're making their money off their expertise.
Right.
Do you really want to take each individual item and learn Barbie, or would you rather make the money off it and let somebody else make money?
I'm happy getting that.
I agree completely on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're not going to become a Barbie dealer. Is what it comes down to.
Definitely. All right, I got some graded stuff back. Very happy with this 9.6 She-Hulk number 1. Sadly, I sold a bunch of these ungraded about a year or two ago, but they, can't argue with this one though.
Well, but and again, here's what you need to look at. You made money on it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think they were going for 50 when I sold them. Raw. So
what's a 9.8 on that?
Oh, it's got to be a couple thousand. It's got to be. Yeah.
Crazy. See, and I laugh at things like that. I mean, I'm sure I have one in my collection because I'm sure I picked it up at some point in my collection and just kept one because I said, it's a number 1 issue.
Right.
But it's nothing I particularly care about, that kind of stuff.
Well,
these things were all common.
They're coming out with a series, I think. That's why this has been hot. I think because of COVID it was postponed, but I think they're coming out like Netflix or something. Wow. Yeah, very cool. All right, let's see. What did I do here? All right, here we go. Walter Payton rookie, very iconic card, very popular. It's always been worth a lot of money. I paid more for it than I normally would because I knew the time that's selling for more. So I did pretty well. $500. It sold for the $505. I think the full price. So and it's it's not graded. I mean, you can see the upper right corner. So it's probably going to grade out of the 7, which is probably $1,000. But do I want to wait a year to get this back from a grading? So I made decent money.
Or you could get insurance money on it.
That is true. I could do that. Yeah, I'm good at that. Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, we've got some videos up there. Check it out. Don't make this $30,000 mistake. Crazy story. Definitely worth watching.
I ended up a happy camper. Things worked out well for that, but it could have went the other way.
It certainly could have. And when we did the video, we did not know how it would turn out.
True. All right, Garbage Pail Kids, still hot. These were mint sets.
Oh, complete sets.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, and 6 complete. I think I took like close to 300, 280, 290 on this. It was sitting up there for a few months. So I figured it's a fair offer. But yeah, if you find these anywhere, sets are the best way to go. But you can still, if the singles are mint, I would still buy
Now, when
them.
that's a complete set, that's both A and B.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So anybody who doesn't know, they put out like card 262A, 262B,
Right.
had the same illustration on it, but they
Right.
changed the name under it.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. What else we got going on here? Okay. This was I originally sold. This was one of the real deals. It's originally sold for $500, and the gentleman returned it and complained that I think Reel 2 had some errors and warping and this and that, and there's, he couldn't salvage anything out of it. So we relisted it and clearly explained what he said was wrong with it. So there should be no issues this time around. They know what they're getting. It sold for $337. So I really can't argue with that.
You still made money on it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you disclosed,
Right.
and obviously you didn't disclose the first time because you didn't have any idea.
Right.
As soon as you found out, and that's something that I do as well.
Put it right there, actually. Yeah. So the lister listed the issues wrong with it right here. So.
And that's something other. A lot of times, what I'll do is if somebody or other buys something and then does a return on it, and they said it was something,
Yeah.
and especially sometimes there's things where they'll say, "Oh, there's an odor, there's this," and I get it back and I smell. I don't smell
Yeah,
anything.
right.
I will at least put in there in the full disclosure. I'll say this is a relist, was returned. The prior buyer said
Yeah.
there was an odor. I do not notice it, but I'll at least disclose that because it was returned for that reason.
Sure. Yeah.
Better to let somebody or other know about the potential problem. As we have yet another video. What,
Right.
you think they won't notice us missing a cover? So rather than sending it out and have somebody else complain it was an odor, I may not notice it, but everybody's nose is a little bit different on things.
Right.
And so better to say, hey, it was returned, and here's the reason why it was returned. And you most certainly right there did explain what the problem was.
Right. All right. Lastly, for me, I'm not even sure if this got paid yet, but it did sell. I had it up since December. 110 different Michael Jordan cards. They were cheaper ones, anywhere from $1 to $5 each. But I think I got a $250 offer on it. So you can find these anywhere. These lower end Michael Jordan, you could probably pick them up for $1, but you can make money on lots. So
That's true too. Yeah, if somebody or other still has them sitting in their dollar bin somewhere
Yeah.
or other, and most dealers will deal with you if you say, hey,
Sure.
look, I'm buying a bunch of stuff out of your dollar
Yeah.
bin. Give me a deal. And you pick up 100 of them. There's a lot of 110.
Right.
Probably could pick those up for $75 out of somebody's dollar
yeah,
bin.
yeah.
The
Triple your
local
money.
deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
very cool.
Cannot argue with that whatsoever. So, to anybody new to the channel, he usually brings the noise, and I certainly am not bringing a noise this week, but I like to try to show you some of the more oddball things that can sell, things that you may never even think about even offering up for sale. I know my wife always rolls her eyes when I show her one of these things and says, why did somebody buy it? Why did you list it? And this first one is no exception. The Campbell Soup's 1950s offer brochure, spoon, fork, knife, cup, bowl. I think I took $12 on it. More than happy to take it. Literally, all it is doing is advertising that you can send away for these various items. But if you're a Campbell's collector, you probably can find the spoon. You probably can find the fork all the time.
Right.
How many of these offer sheets are you going to find?
One.
Not a lot.
Unused one.
So it's one of those deals that it's just somebody out there that wants it. And I listed it because I said somebody collects Campbell's and they do not have this as part of their collection. And now they do. Next thing we have over here is another thing that I cannot believe sold. I'm very happy with it. I got the full price for it. It's from 1984 and it's laminated. And obviously they were using it in some kind of I think it came from a stock from a hardware store, if I remember where I ended up getting it at. Somebody had purchased a hardware store out. And so they would laminate these kind of things so that way you could tell the colors easily and they didn't have to worry about the brochure getting damaged. Well, I got the full $20 out of it.
Nice.
More than happy about that. No idea what the person's going to do about it or with it. Maybe they're a Rust-Oleum collector. Maybe they collect paint chips. I don't really know
Or even
why.
like a garage, a shop.
A neat little thing for them, I guess. And it is laminated. You don't have to pay for them to
true.
laminate it.
Yeah.
That's worth something. But
Preserve,
just goes
preserve
to
the condition of it.
just goes to show that sometimes things just sell. You just cannot believe that will sell. Speaking of which, I got the full $24 out of this.
Wow.
There's more to see at Sealand Oak Bay Marina, Victoria, Canada brochure, yellow. No date on it, but I said yellow.
If it's sold for yellow, that'd be great.
A lot of people, I am curious
I
yellow.
collect yellow things.
The reason why I put yellow in is because I had another brochure, looked almost exactly the same, except it had a green top. So I listed green
Wow,
so that when I sold it,
yeah.
A, I could list both of them, and B, when it sold, I was very quick to figure out which one it
Yeah.
was. Undated, and that's one thing that when you deal with things that are not in America, American things usually have a copyright date or a date on it. A lot of times things from Canada or overseas do not have dates on them. I would place this as being mid 80s just from the collection it came out of, but I don't know for certain. I think probably 1980s. So you're still talking, as you always point out, 40 years old.
Yeah.
And somebody went to Sealand with the family and had good memories of it and said, oh, that brochure's pretty cool. But to pay $24 for the brochure, I know a lot of people would just walk right by it.
Yeah.
But that is an actual sale, something or other, and I get paid for it, got shipped out, et cetera, et cetera. The next thing I have over here is something that I don't usually deal in, caught my eye, took a couple of years to sell, but it's something or other that in today's world, I'm kind of surprised that I didn't get anybody giving me grief about it. I am an alcoholic. In case of an emergency, buy me a beer. And it's a pinback, novelty pinback, I would guess from the 1960s. No way they would make that these days.
No.
I did get $12 out of it, free shipping, but I'm certain I didn't pay for it. I'm certain it came in some lot somewhere at the bottom of some box lot that I purchased or something other like that. It's not the kind of thing that I deal in, so I would not have bought it per se. It just it came as part of some deal somewhere. But happy to get $12 out of it. You know, whoever bought it's got it. They all got a good laugh out of it.
Yeah.
Not the kind of thing that you could make nowadays. Certainly not. But you see something rather oddball like this, somebody out there is going to end up wanting to buy it.
Sure.
You know, there are collectors of that kind of thing. Probably has a basement bar and probably put it up in their basement bar would be my thought.
Yeah.
Next thing over here, I'm sure whoever bought this off me got a great deal on it, but I made money on it, so I was more than happy to pass it along. I paid $5 for this, as a couple of other pieces along with it, and I paid $5 total. I think I got $20 out of it. It's just and I did front and back on it. It's really neat covers from the Oddfellows. Well, I said, what am I going to do? Sit there and list these all individually? I don't know what's good on the stamps. I don't know what's good on the covers. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's good. I'm into it right.
Yeah.
The guy offered me $20, and I got a couple of other pieces out of it that I listed separately because those looked interesting enough to list separately.
Yeah.
More than happy, you know, even after shipping fees and everything like that, I still more than doubled my money off of it for just being in the right place at the right time. This is not the kind of thing I usually deal with. More than happy on this. So don't be afraid to lot things out like this. And again, did I leave money on the table? I'm sure I did. I'm sure one of these pieces is probably worth the $20 that he paid. You know what the problem is? I don't know which one. So more than happy to move it along and let him make some money for his knowledge. And the last thing over here, we did a video about the difficulty I had going through and listing these foreign prints. Into them absolutely right. I was into them for $1 a piece. At this point, I think I have ended up selling almost half of them.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And I think between the half of them I've sold, I've paid $80 or $85 for 85 prints. I think I've sold 42 of them for about $700. So well worth the amount of time I put into it. But it was a lot of time that I put into it. And what I did on these over here is I did one scan, and then I made it look really nice, and then I showed the borders and everything like that. And that obviously looks a lot nicer.
It does look really nice.
You know, and you just put the same picture up twice, and then you just use the eBay tools to sit there and crop it down.
Sure.
But more than happy to let those go. I think I ended up getting $20 a piece or $18 a piece out of them. But they ended up buying 6 to 8 of them. I've sold 6 to 8 in another lot. I had a bunch of $17.95 German ones that I ended up selling for $18 a piece. So put a lot of work into it. If you watched the video, certainly did, but also made the money out of it, made the time worthwhile. And it was, you know, 3 or 4 hours one morning that I just basically sacrificed. In the end, it was well worth it to do. So don't be afraid of a deal like this. And again, you just have to put the time to sit there and do it. And as I noted in the video, the problem is it's cursive writing in a foreign language down below. Makes it a lot of fun to try to use your translation tools and all that kind of stuff. But it ended up paying off for me. So well worth the time invested. So hopefully that gives you some hints, some tips, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bolo.